Good afternoon, everybody. Hope you guys are doing good on this Tuesday. I am back from vacation, able to make videos again in the usual setup, able to make high quality videos, the kind that you guys are used to. Unfortunately, there is a little bit of a downside here. I am now sick, and I had a plan to make at least a couple videos yesterday and a few videos today, but by the time I got home, I didn't really want to do anything except sleep. So I took yesterday off basically. I had the one video about the Broncos pick, and I decided that would have to do. And I didn't really feel like making any videos earlier today, so I just decided, you know what? I can take a day off from YouTube, I guess. So yeah, we basically just we had the one video yesterday, and I wasn't thinking I was going to do any videos on this channel today. Actually, I thought I was just going to take today off, but something came across the wire earlier today that I think is so significant for Seahawks fans that it should be addressed. And I do feel a little bit better now, and I can go ahead and throw together a quick 10-minute video, I guess. So. Uh, I am planning on streaming tonight with the Hawks Nest on his channel. We're going to do the Panthers post game. So head on over there and sub, and you can watch me and him talk about that Panthers mess. It's not going to be a fun conversation to have, but it is a conversation that we need to have. And I think the plan is tomorrow and Thursday, I'm just going to go on a pretty big video blitz to get through the stuff that needs to be gone through before our Thursday game against the 49ers. Just all around terrible timing with me being on vacation and me, well, not me, but the team playing on Thursday instead of Sunday when I get back. Just kind of unfortunate, but whatever. It is what it is. So I'll probably release a bunch of videos tomorrow and Thursday to make up for it. But I did want to make this one video to talk about the news that we got earlier today concerning one of our division rivals. And this affects the Seahawks in two different ways. Not the direct way, because we don't play the Cardinals again this year. The Cardinals, we already played them twice. But this is a big deal for other reasons. Kyler Murray tore his ACL last night on, I believe, like the third play from scrimmage against the Patriots. I don't really know. I didn't watch any of the game because I was sleeping, but I believe it was the third play from scrimmage, tore his ACL. It was confirmed earlier today. So his season is over, and frankly, given the fact that it is December, we don't know about next year for him either at this point in time. So it's not the Achilles. If it was the Achilles, then he might miss most, if not all, of 2023. The ACL, it seems like medical advancements have allowed people to come back from torn ACLs faster than the typical than was the case like even 10, 20 years ago. I remember when Derrick Rose tore his ACL, and it took him quite some time to get back. So Kyler, I don't know what you're going to see from him to start 2023. He might miss a month or something. I don't know, but Kyler is definitely the kind of player who depends more on his mobility and his legs than the average quarterback, right? Like if he can't run around, if he can't utilize his 4-4 or not even 4-3 speed, then he doesn't have much that you want a quarterback to have in the NFL. So this might be something that costs him the first few games of 2023 as well. I don't think it's going to cost him the whole season, but this is definitely a huge deal for a relatively young quarterback who depended heavily on his athleticism and just got paid a ton of money. I mean, the Cardinals are on the hook for a ton of money with Kyler over the next several years. And I guess in this you can see why a player like Kyler Murray wanted to get paid as soon as he could. If Kyler had not gotten paid last offseason, where does this leave him? So, yeah, obviously this drastically affects a division rival, and it also means that we're going to be seeing a good amount of Colt McCoy for at least the next month, and possibly even when we get to 2023, the 2023 season in September. Now, I don't know how badly this is going to affect the Cardinals Because if you're being straight honest, Kyler Murray was probably having his worst ever professional season as a quarterback. If you take a look at the numbers, his QB rating was lower than it's ever been, including his rookie year. The team's performance was the worst of his career. He had never been the Cardinals under Murray had never been nearly as bad as they had been so far in 2022. His individual performance had not been great. The Cardinals' offensive rank was below average, which it had never been at any point in his career before before this year. So I don't know how big of a loss the Kyler thing is for the moment, but at the end of the day, you paid him $250 million and you have built an offense around his specific talents. You want him out there. So it's kind of a big deal. And this affects the Seahawks in two ways. Number one, I think the most obvious would be next year, if the Cardinals have to go with Colt McCoy for even a few games, there's a distinct possibility that the Seahawks will get to play Colt instead of Kyler in a game next year. And I don't know how to feel about that, because Colt McCoy is definitely a quarterback that's given us fits in the past. But at the same time, you would also look at Colt versus Kyler in terms of talent and ability, and you would still probably say, yeah, Kyler's a better quarterback. So that can go one way or the other, right? I definitely think there are some Seahawks fans out there who would much rather play Kyler Murray than Colt McCoy. What happened in 2022 is definitely going to encourage those thoughts, because both games we played the Cardinals, Kyler did very little. All Kyler was able to do across those two games was run. He had that one game where he ran for 100 yards, and, I mean, the Cardinals still only had 3 points that whole game. So, as a Seahawks fan, maybe you'd rather play Kyler than Colt. I don't know. But the other effect, the immediate effect of this injury, would be this game upcoming in 5 days where the Cardinals play the Broncos in Denver. And this game has to take on a new complexion in light of the Kyler injury, where now the Cardinals, who were definitely going to be favored in this game, and maybe they still will be, are now going to go into battle without their quarterback. And admittedly, Denver's probably in the same position, right? Because it doesn't seem like Wilson... At the very least, I think it's fair to say that Russell shouldn't play in this game. They're trying to say now that, oh, the concussion was actually really mild, which... Yeah, watch the clip of him getting injured and tell me that's mild. Yeah, I'm sure that's I'm sure that's the case. Right, sure, Jan. But we're going to have a mash unit, a true mash unit of a game this upcoming Sunday, Cardinals Broncos, and I've spent a lot of time on this channel, especially recently, talking about how we need the Broncos to lose as many games as possible for that pick. And now the door is starting to open on them maybe winning a game that we didn't think they were going to be able to win. A couple weeks ago, I was looking at this game and thinking to myself, oh, well, the Cardinals love to throw exotic blitzes at quarterbacks, and Wilson is terrible against exotic blitzes. So Wilson's got no chance. But now, maybe they don't have to play Wilson. And while I'm not going to pretend that Mark Rypien is better than Russell Wilson, maybe Mark Rypien is going to be better for the playing in this game against the Cardinals than Wilson would have been. And now you have the Cardinals, who are playing a quarterback in Colt McCoy, who just plain isn't as good against any team except for the Seahawks, I guess I should say, right? Maybe Colt McCoy's better against some teams, but I doubt he's going to be better against a team like the Broncos. So this game now becomes a lot more interesting. This game becomes a lot more compelling. At this point, I don't really know what to make of it, but I think the odds of the Seahawks landing the number 2 overall pick have gone down a little bit with this news. Maybe not massively, but at least a little bit. And we're probably going to have to sweat through this Cardinals-Broncos game a little bit more than we were anticipating. I thought for sure that this would be the kind of game where the Broncos score like 9 points and lose like 20-9 or something like that. Something in that realm. Now, it's just a lot harder to predict. What is Rypien going to be able to do? What is Rypien going to do in terms of how he plays versus how Wilson plays against this very specific Cardinals defense that isn't terrible, but was far from great, and also was only really being held aloft because they did some things extremely well, like their exotic blitzing. Is the exotic blitzing going to not work against Ripien the way it would have worked against Russ, the way it's worked against Russ basically his whole career? Is Russ going to try to play through a concussion and probably throw 8 interceptions? You'd figure the coaching staff wouldn't allow that to happen, but the coaching staff is also about to get, fired across the board, so maybe they don't care. They don't care if Wilson gets concussed again and has to miss an entire year or retires because he can't let his brain get turned into mush. They're going to get fired this offseason. You don't know what's going to happen now. So the Broncos get the Cardinals without Murray, and this could be one hell of an unwatchable game. The Broncos have played a lot of unwatchable games this year. This could be the most unwatchable. We'll see. But the Kyler injury has a little bit of a domino effect on the Seahawks in ways that aren't obvious. We may never actually have to play the Cardinals without Murray, but that doesn't mean it doesn't have an effect. So let me know what you guys think about all this. Hopefully the Cardinals can still find a way to a dub on Sunday. And yeah, I guess it's just fair, right? The Broncos have had so many injuries this year. I guess it's just fair that they would eventually get to play some teams that are crippled themselves. All right, I'm gonna prep up for this post game stream with the Hawks Nest. I am gonna try to stream on Twitch tonight. I want to finish Hello Neighbor, but we'll see how I feel. And yeah, hope to see you guys there. Go Hawks. Yeah, should be a big video blitz over the next few days to make up for my absence. Go Hawks.